And welcome back to another episode of All of Fabric 5, where, in between episodes, I've been setting up a couple more bits and pieces, and I think we've caught up. I think we've finally caught up with the quests that we were up to before I started redoing all of the factory in like a passive production line type of deal. Aside from like this stuff, which was kind of one-off things, yeah, I think we're kind of looking at heading towards maybe the nuclear reactor. Maybe. And it might be worth doing this. But let's cover some of the stuff that's happened. So we've got over here processing units being produced. Now it's a little bit slow. We're waiting on digital circuits, which are waiting on, I think, digital circuit boards, which I just discovered I kind of changed how I was processing antimony. I'm turning it all into dust now, so the battery alloys kind of stopped working. But that's all fired back up now. But what we want to get into first is some better power production, because I was actually running out of power when everything was running earlier. We're kind of okay now. This is kind of working. We also used a few of those alloy things. We got a whole heap of titanium. We've got a bit of platinum, I believe. Yeah, this is platinum happening. And that's being used for all of these bits and pieces. The platinum was happening in here for making these processing unit boards. And yeah, this is all the way now. This is all the way. Yeah, just held up on these digital circuits. But power was becoming an issue when I had a bunch of stuff running, and I didn't want to go and make another large steam boiler. I think power is... this is just low because I just charged up the gravity chest plate. I think we are still in the positive. Just. Yeah, we are in the positive, but only just. I think we're still good with the transfer rate of these cables. I don't think we're quite using all of that yet. But what I started working on between episodes, now that we've got the titanium drills, we're getting uranium and iridium, I thought about getting into this large diesel generator. So we can actually get rid of all this because this is all handled now. And I actually just went ahead and requested the stuff for this. So we should have everything we need for the large diesel generator. Now this also needed some titanium pipe machine casings and titanium machine casings. And I'm not quite sure what that quest was. Oh, that's for the pressurizer. I mean, we could get a pressurizer now. I think that's used for making water into high pressure water. I don't know that we quite need to do that now. I'm not entirely sure what high pressure steam is used for. I'm assuming it gives you more efficient use of steam, maybe. But I want to get the large diesel generator fired up and hooked into this power system. So I guess we've kind of got a bit of room here. I think I have all the components. Looks like this wants to go up another level. So this should be kind of cool. I'm looking forward to firing this thing up. Okay, so we got... yeah, actually, is that a good place for it? Maybe we'll chuck that forward another... I mean, it could run like this. That's okay. It leaves a little bit of a gap. Maybe across another one. I don't know. It doesn't matter too much. And we might end up like sharing sides of the machine and having another one on either side. It would actually still fit. It'd be right up against these though. But we might be able to do away with some of these large steam boilers. Although coal dust is infinite, really. So maybe it's not worth getting rid of that. But let's do this anyway. And this should be kind of cool. We are going to have to set up some better production of diesel. I think at the moment we're not producing any, but we should have a bunch of heavy and light fuel, which we combine in a mixer to make diesel. I also want to probably after this, convert our oil drilling rig over to using stainless steel drills. We're actually a little bit low on oil. Oh, because I overclocked. I overclocked this thing. We're actually not producing oil fast enough. Interesting. So we could speed this up. But again, we are starting to run into power issues. So once we get this fired up, I think that will be something we definitely want to look at. So yeah, I assume we want a couple of fluid input hatches. And I've got an HV output hatch here. Okay, actually we can't share sides of this machine because the slots are on the side. Okay, let's do fluid input hatches. And let's do HV energy output hatch. You don't go there. Oh, you only go on the back of the machine, which means this is kind of facing the wrong way. Kind of facing the wrong way. I think this should be pretty simple though. So this is probably a machine we could have gotten running a while ago. Whoops. But we just really didn't need to. And why are you... Oh no, there we go. There's the thing. So you're going to go there. And you are going to go into these storage units. Now we should probably actually go underground. We pretend that this is all nice and tidy. Eventually I want to replace the stuff under the ground with not grass because it looks kind of bad, but we definitely want a different floor as well. So this is fired up. One thing I am going to be missing is the chemical reactor for making diesel in the first place. So just diesel. There's a mixer of these two things. Right. Cool. Probably want to go into a tank, but for now, let's just get this fired up. Why did I put 2 fluid input hatches on here? I only need 1 because it just takes diesel. Although I think it would run on the other fuels. That's all right. And, oh yes, you can see he's chewing through the diesel pretty quick. Actually, yeah, let's use both. Just so we've got a little bit of a buffer. But now this thing's running, and supposedly this only uses as much diesel as it needs to make power. So if we were to disconnect this, he should stop. And he stops because this is full. Okay. I don't know how we prioritize. I mean, I can see why this is, yeah, generating a lot of power. Because he needs to fill up all of these storage units because they were low. It's actually, I mean, no, that's filling up pretty quick. That's a lot faster than it was. And we are charging multiple. Cool. That should be pretty sweet. Done. Done. A large diesel generator at nighttime. I probably should have slept. Nice. There we have it. The large diesel generator making power. Yeah, I don't know if this is going to keep up. It looks okay. I think I'm going to want to set up a tank, like a decently large tank, and keep diesel in it. So we're definitely going to overclock this guy, maybe upgrade his machine casing. I don't know exactly where we want to keep the large diesel tank. I mean, there's a big space here. There's kind of a space here, although we might want to expand our storage units. Yeah, that's nice. That's a nice bit of power. Now, I don't know if we're hitting like limits on how much these cables can transfer. That could be a problem we're hitting. They transfer 8,000. Now, apparently this thing can produce up to 16,000 EU a tick, which should be double what this cable can transfer. So if we go to the large diesel generator, So diesel should generate 400. Right, but boosted diesel doubles that. Okay. We could burn creosote, although I don't know, this thing was so expensive, I don't really think it's worth burning creosote or not. That's pretty cool. Yeah, we totally could share a wall and have another one of these just plonked here and have the inputs on this side. And I might do that. All right. This should be, if I convert this to an output hatch. Nice. We now have maybe too much stuff going through the cable. Maybe too much for the cable to transfer. But nice. I mean, the cable, yeah, the piping's a little bit average, but sweet. We're using diesel this fast. Which does seem kind of fast. We're definitely going to want a back stuff of some description. I think a tank's going to be good, although it's kind of keeping up pretty good. We'll leave it running. We'll see what happens. We've still got our steam boilers to fall back on. I think this is going to tide us over for quite a while. But all right, I think it's time to start doing this. And I was going to construct another couple of tanks. I want a tank for oil. I want another tank for the shale oil. No, and we want another distillery tower. So if we're going for a stainless drill, which I think would be cool, because we're sort of a little bit low on fluids, and I've also discovered polyethylene's actually holding us up on a lot of crafts. If I can ever find that machine, it's this one here. Struggling for power. We could probably split off some of these cables into... Like, I'm suspecting it's the LV transfers not really keeping up. We could do something with that. And I probably should do, because polyethylene's actually becoming a little bit of a bottleneck, but we probably want to put that into a tank anyway. Or just have this always crafting polyethylene. Because, do we use ethylene for anything else? Maybe. I don't know that we're using ethyl benzene, styrene. Oh, using that for making rubber. Okay, so maybe... Yeah, definitely want to do something with this, though. We'll figure it out. We will figure it out. Yes. Let's start getting ready for using stainless steel drills in this dude. Now, I did talk about making a separate one. Yeah, go on. Two oil rigs would look pretty cool. Hopefully I've still got all the recipes saved for that. This should all be pretty straightforward. All right. I think we're just about ready to at least get started with what's going to be happening over here. And of course, I start recording just as it's becoming night. Let's fix that. So we've got our 2 oil rigs set up. I'm sharing some blocks because why not? I haven't quite set up the tank yet, and I actually had another large tank on the way. Will we need all of these? I'm not entirely sure. So I'm going to keep the aluminum drill, oil drilling rig running. He's going to be this one. So he's going to start processing. Everything's just going into the system, which actually is not really what we want. I just remembered, if we do that, then it's constantly running and we fill our system up full of oil. Let's stop that. Let's immediately stop what I was about to do. But he should at least fill his output hatch with oil anyway. So let's just turn this off for now. So he's running away. He's going to overclock. I managed to grab some stainless steel drills, and that's going to be this guy over here. And he's not as fast. I think he's probably the same speed, but he doesn't overclock without having upgrades. Cool. And so he will be generating We've got ourselves some shale oil, which we need to process. This didn't get anything, and this didn't get anything. Is it only a chance? No, shale oil is the only output. Shale oil is the only output, but we process that shale oil directly over here. So, I mean, let's go for some white cables. Yeah, muck that up a little bit. We'll just do this. And then you can extract shale oil. And now this thing's going to fire up. And this is where we get our different fluids. 67 is still a weird processing amount. I wonder if it's so you get like a nice amount of all the byproducts. So we're making a tiny bit of helium, a little bit of sulfuric crude oil. Sulfuric naphtha, sulfuric crude oil. Is that what we make here? No, we make crude oil. Oh. I didn't read the thing properly. So we turn shale oil into sulfuric crude oil. Hey, we get some sulfuric acid from processing that. We just need a little bit of hydrogen. That's kind of cool, actually, because I am always a little bit low on sulfuric acid. Nice. So we still need to... Oh, of course, he stopped. We still need to... Interesting. Oh, it's just because this is slow. Never mind. That explains everything. So we need to process that sulfuric crude oil. Yeah, I guess we just do that right here. And that's going to be just in a chemical reactor. I don't think I have one of them sitting around. I mean, let's just have a couple floating about. We're crafting some things we probably don't need to, but that'll be fine. Cool. So that's going to be this sorted. We just need a little bit of fluid storage, but that won't be too much of a problem. I wonder... We could go for stainless... Oh, I ran out of energy. We could go for stainless drills in both. I'm just a little bit worried that's going to use too much of our stainless steel, which is fine at the moment. Oh, we have 32,000. It is actually kind of really fine. I mean, it is fully overclocked. We must have used a bunch for crafting something. Is this overkill? I think so. So this is the biggest tank you can make, and yeah, sharing sides actually saves quite a bit of resources when you're doing this many steel machine casings. Not that it's much of a problem, it's kind of more just a time annoyance at this point. But my plan is I'm going to store shale oil in one and regular oil in the other. Now, is that something we really need to do? Probably not. But it is going to be a nice visual indicator if we ever get to the point, or rather probably when we get to the point. Well, maybe. We'll see how we go. If we get to the point where... Now that just used white pipes to craft white pipes. That's not ideal. If we ever get to the point where we're processing our oil faster than we're mining it, which I guess once we start upgrading machines, that might actually become a concern, but I think at the moment it's probably a little bit unrealistic. So if we put shale oil, I guess it would make sense to do it on the further away one. And it's all fired up and running. So that should take care of our oil situation. We've got 82 buckets sitting in here. Looks like it's flickering between having enough crude oil and not having enough crude oil. Interestingly. And yeah, we've got a bunch of shale oil. So 1.1 color buckets. 1,000 buckets. Huh. Really? That's a lot. That's pretty quick, if that's actually what that means. And then we've just got this little distillation tower over here. He's almost getting fully overclocked. He's producing a little bit of crude oil. Now this is going straight into the system, which potentially not ideal, but I guess I could change that so it pipes into the same pipe as this. But at the same time, I don't want this to stop producing things. And we could, of course, you can set priorities on the pipes, so we could have an excess overflow that just pumps the oil into like a trash can, but we'll cross that bridge if we come to it. We can always expand our ME storage to have a lot more fluid cells. But this is pretty sweet. There's some pretty good improvements. So we now have titanium drills always running, which is getting us, you know, a little bit of iridium. It's actually not that much, but this is not overclocked at all, which we could do, but I'm just a little bit wary of our ability to keep up with the production of titanium drills. In power. Power is becoming an issue for a lot of these machines. I think what I want to do is start converting everything to HV. So that's going to involve setting up the crafting for making turbo machine hulls, and we just want to have like a stock of these. I don't think we need 2,000 machine hulls. That seems like a bit much. But let's say maybe a stack of 32 or something. So half a stack. Something like that. And then we can just go along and start converting all of these machines to HV and then just run HV cables. Eventually we'll get to the point where these can't transfer enough. And that's going to be cool when that happens. But we should be hopefully getting close to being able to get to nuclear power if we need to. But I think this diesel generator here is going to keep up. I think he's running okay. And I think this mixer is keeping up fine as well. Like it's not even overclocked. Which is cool. So if we stopped these, I suspect this would struggle a little bit more. It could be kind of interesting to stop it, but nah. It's going to be running overnight, and we'll see if we've got any diesel left in the morning. But hey, it's been ClassicDuff. Thanks for watching, and we'll come back next time for some more All of Fabric 5. And probably mostly modern industrialization, to be fair. See yous.